You're ready for prime time, but how do you get the word out? Being a podcast guest and sharing your ideas and expertise can establish you as an industry thought leader. The PodConx Guest Marketplace is your introduction to podcast hosts sharing the good word in plant medicine and the world of wellness. Sign up at PodConx.com to have your profile sent to more than 60 of the top cannabis podcasters who are ready to speak with the leaders that are shaping the ever-changing cannabis industry. I use the PodConx Guest Marketplace to shop for interesting guests for my show. So if you're ready to shine, go to PodConx.com, that's PodConx.com, and join the Guest Marketplace today. I'll meet you there.
I've been doing indoor hemp now almost 5 years. I was probably one of the first ones to start doing it and then definitely scaling up. And it's moving a lot slower than I thought it would. It's taken a while for people to actually, I guess, get their hands on it, try it. But it's definitely gaining a lot of speed, and especially the last year. We're getting a lot more demand for it. And there's a lot more people jumping into the game and doing it as well now. So I see the next 2 years, it's definitely getting a lot more.
From the PodConx studios, high in the Rockies at the beautiful Beaver Creek Resort, it's the Raising Cannabis Capital Show.
Today on MJ Bulls, we are joined by the co-founders of Flow Garden, David Miller and Erich Maelze. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, I've been trying to get you guys on the show since last summer, because I heard about Flow Garden and you have such an interesting story. You have an indoor grow in East Tennessee, and you've emerged as like a clear leader in this nationwide sale of smokable hemp, a sector that I got to believe is just going to grow like crazy over the next few years. I thought to kick things off, maybe you could explain to our listeners that are not familiar with smokable hemp, what is it?
Smokable hemp is cannabis. It's the same plant that everybody knows and loves as marijuana, except the THC is bred out of the plant. So you have just a minuscule below 0.3% THC, and the other cannabinoids like CBD, CBG take the place of that. So you're not getting the psychoactive high per se, but it's more of a medicinal feeling, like it helps to combat anxiety, any kind of stress like that. So it's definitely a different effect, but it's more medicinal, and it's starting to gain a lot of popularity too.
Yeah, I can see why. David, I'll throw this one back at you. Your flowers won a lot of awards. What are you doing different that makes your hemp so special?
Well, our focus is quality and focusing on finding and breeding the best hemp flowers out there. So we have an R&D facility, and we have a lot of different methods: flood and drain, living soil, top feed, current culture H2O, a lot of different methods that we use in addition to all the pheno hunting that Erich does, and then house crossing that he does with all the various types of strains that are out there.
Yeah, it makes sense. I heard I don't know if it was an interview that you did with somebody else, but you said something about smell cells.
Yeah, so that's done early in the pheno hunting. So we pop a bunch of seeds, different varieties, and then about halfway through flower, about 30 days in, that's when the plants start giving off their smells. And I'll go around and you can rub the leaf where the little trichomes are growing, smell it, and you get a good smell of the plant. And that's where the pheno hunt starts. So I'll start selecting the best smelling ones as long as their structure's good, and we kind of go from there. But that's really where we get the smell. It's all in the genetic.
Yeah.
And the nice COA obviously will back that up with having terpene levels in now more than a handful of plants of 4 or 5% plus, which is more than double the average.
Exactly. Like in the marijuana industry, these guys they might be hitting in the threes. Most of them, 2% terpenes is considered really good in the marijuana industry. But in the hemp industry, that's what we really are dependent on and focusing on. And so we've had some of our strains upwards of 5.5% terpenes. Wow. And those are adding to the effect with the CBD and the other cannabinoids is what we're finding. So it's not just the THC or the CBD that's giving you the the buzz or the different effects. It's also the terpenes as well, more so.
Well, it's nice that you can be that hands-on, that you can actually go from plant to plant and say, this one smells great. Let's focus on. Yeah, I think that shows the commitment that you have within your organization to.
That's it for me. It's like Christmas every day. You just go in and the plants change day to day. So it's really neat. It's like a little treasure hunt.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you guys have a dominant share in this smokable hemp sector. Give me an idea. Where do you see this going? Like projected to grow, this sector projected to grow over, say, the next 2 or 3 years?
So I've been doing indoor hemp now almost 5 years. I was probably one of the first ones to start doing it, and then definitely scaling up. And it's moving a lot slower than I thought it would. It's taken a while for people to actually, I guess, get their hands on it, try it. But it's definitely gaining a lot of speed, and especially the last year. We're getting a lot more demand for it. And there's a lot more people jumping into the game and doing it as well now. So I see the next 2 years, it's definitely getting a lot more.
I think I saw on your website that you have a subscription option. Is that still available?
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like most subscription models out there, how do we find a way to please the customer through great customer service and provide them what they want? So there's different amounts they can buy at different subscription levels, and they pay a monthly fee to get different types of strains and new releases. We'll drop that once a month and send it out to our subscribers.
Isn't it also a way for them to try different strains or different options?
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we created it, because doing all these pheno hunts, we'll have little batches of all these different ones that we can't really put on the website because we don't have enough, but we have enough to give out in the subscriptions. And that's kind of the catch, is they're getting the newest stuff first, which they really like. So we've had people that have, I think we've done it almost a year now, or maybe a little over, and there's still people that have started from the very beginning that are still subscribers.
Yeah, and we can use that and do use that as a way to survey our customers as to which ones they like the most out of the small batches, which helps us to decide which ones do we want to scale and grow in larger quantities.
Exactly.
No, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. As we all think, this sector is just going to explode. And if you want to maintain this nationwide lead that you have in this sector, it seems like it's going to be pretty expensive with marketing and building out. And you probably have to expand your facilities. Will there ever be an opportunity for investors to participate in your growth?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the first part, just to comment on it, the expansion in the space and the fixed costs associated with it, we have a pretty good understanding of, and that's why we've delved into the R&D space and actually have a lab and in-house testing independent from our necessary third-party testing that we do for our strains to stay ahead of the curve and bank all this data and all these strains and all these in-house cultivars and crosses that Eric has created. So there are a lot of costs involved with scaling and expansion as any industry requires, but our niche is focusing on quality and being in a market where there's so much stuff that's undiscovered. And as far as accepting money, I'll just punt that to one of my friends, colleagues that started Greenlight. It is a multi-billion-dollar company now. He probably, through their seed investing in numerous series stages, I can't tell you how many times he said no. And the reason he said no was for the right reason, is what's the company's purpose? Where does the company go? And does the company have they found someone that is truly going to partner with them? Because just to take money at a super high valuation, if you're just looking for the buck and partnering with somebody that's going to give you money just out of ego, the situation is with all the different companies, then it's destined to fail in my eyes, or there is an end game. But we're playing the long game, or the infinite game, as I guess Simon Sinek says. And we just want to find a good long-term partner, whether that be a family office, whether that be a PE firm, whether that be an individual investor.
Infinite
game. A long answer. Sorry about that.
No, I love it. I like that. Like I said, I love the idea that infinite game. That's what I want to hear. This is not just get in, get out. This is let's make let's make this into something special, something that we can all be proud of for years and years to come. Well, under that heading, I'm going to make sure that we have links to Flow Gardens information. So if anybody wants to take a look at the website and maybe get join the subscription service, that's available to you. And also if you feel like you might be the right partner for these guys, that your interests are aligned and you're planning to be in an infinite company, I'm sure somebody from their team would be happy to talk to you. David and Eric, I appreciate you being on the show with me today. Thanks again for sharing this, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Look forward to talking to you in the future. Appreciate your time today.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening to today's show. To check out more great cannabis podcasts, go to PodConx.com. Here's a preview of one of our other shows.
I'm Joyce Gerber, the creator and host of the award-winning podcast, The Canna Mom Show. And we are on a mission to enhance the impact women have on this industry as business professionals, healthcare providers, policy advocates, caregivers, moms, by sharing and preserving their stories of love and kindness, wisdom, and hope. I am so grateful to have found my tribe of Canna podcasters right here on PodConx, and look forward to our work of crushing the stigma around cannabis and caregivers and building this new industry together.